Hello everybody, it's your daily report with Angry Tim. Wanted to talk about the disconnect between employees and business owners. On one hand, I'm a small business owner, I have 3 employees. We will never be satisfied with the quality of work of employees. You just get the best you can. You're never gonna get someone who does everything you want them to do, follow directions, not screw up, not come in late, not miss work. But on the other hand, you have the employees who just feel like, all work sucks. You're lucky I'm here. They kind of have this attitude where, they're better than this, and they're lucky, or we're as a business, we're lucky to have them as employees when they're, substandard workers. So there's this attitude where all the workers don't even want to show up anywhere unless they're going to make $20, $30, $40 an hour to mop the floor or something. They think everything is a high-paying job. They think they're some kind of CEO of a large corporation and everything is beneath them. So they'd rather just be homeless on benefits than get off their butt and start working. Now, no job has to be, your position isn't a permanent thing. If you have no job, you take any job you have at any pay, right? And you work your way up. Not everyone wants their final dream job as their first job or the only job they're willing to take. Unless I'm getting an easy job with such and such benefits, at least $30 an hour, it's kind of like this attitude they have. You'll get your $30, $40 an hour pay once you work your way up there. No one wants to work their way up anywhere. They just want to start up here and they have no experience. They're not even at that level, but they just kind of make up a number like, yeah, I'm this person and I'm not going to work for you unless, you offer me these benefits. I only want to work, Thursday and Wednesday. I don't want to work weekends. I don't want to work nights. I don't want to work before 8 a.m. They have a whole list of things, demands and pay, and they're not even near, qualification wise, they're nothing. They have no experience, they have no qualifications, they can barely read. So just a little rant here just on the job market situation, since we've been talking about that lately. So there's a big disconnect. The business has a system and it needs it filled. The business serves the customer, it doesn't serve the employees' needs. The business doesn't serve the owner's needs. The business always serves the customer's needs. So if the customers want you to be open at 7 a.m., you open at 7 a.m. If the customers want you to be open at 8 p.m., you're open till 8 p.m. But if the customers don't care, they don't start shopping till 10 a.m. till like 4 p.m., fine. You put your hours 9 to 5 like everyone else. But the customer would determine the needs, what products you sell. But somehow, I don't know where, when, the whole thing flipped and it became your employees' needs. You have to base the whole business around your employees' needs and you're no longer serving the customer. And it just messes up business in general. It makes everything a lot more expensive and it's not focused and you're just continually trying to feed the needs of your employee and their demands and you're getting very little back for it. And you see this, sadly, you go to a lot of whatever, it doesn't matter, restaurant, get your haircut, gas stations, local boutiques and shops like that. These workers it's like, I know they didn't hire that person because, this person met the qualifications they were looking for. They hired this person because no one else, that was the best you can get. That was the best option out there. Worker with whatever, tattoos all over their face and they're gonna be selling you baby toys. It's just like, it's maybe not quite the person you want representing your company selling baby toys, but that's the only guy you got, right? No one else showed up or everyone wanted, $30, $40 an hour and you can only pay 15. So that's the guy who shows up when, he wants to show up or when he's not outside taking a smoke break every 10 minutes. As a business, I definitely do not get what I pay for employee-wise, because it's not just the hourly pay. You got to pay workers' comp and all the other taxes, Social Security, workers' compensation, things like that on top of the hourly pay. So it's about 50% more costs on top of your hourly pay you're giving someone. And a lot of times they're not worth it. but the government wants to make a minimum wage. So some people aren't even worth the minimum wage. So what do? That job isn't worth, if you got to pay $12 an hour minimum wage, it's actually costing you like $18 an hour to have someone, do something, just go outside and sweep around the parking lot or clean the restrooms or something like that. It's costing you as a business $18 an hour for someone to do that at 12. And these guys, no, they don't want to do that unless they're getting $20 or $25 an hour, which is that costs the business about like $30, $40 an hour for someone to just go sweep it. Either I'll do it myself or I'll just leave it dirty. It's not worth it. So either the businesses will have to pay more, which they can't because everything else costs more, but the workers don't want to work for a certain amount of money. They just want to. The whole idea with a lot of these jobs is it was like a starter. You step your way up, you work your way up. You're not supposed to have a $12 or whatever, in California, $20 an hour McDonald's job for your whole life. That wasn't a career job. That was a after school, in high school kid job to buy gas for the car or have a little bit of money so you can go to the mall on the weekends. You weren't supposed to stay there after high school or after college and, try and support a family. Those were entry-level jobs. As a kid, you weren't qualified to work anywhere else. So you start off in fast food, you do whatever. You mop the floors, you make the burgers, you take out the trash, you sweep the parking lot for minimum wage, and then later you get a better job. But it was good work experience. And you made some money for whatever, movies and clothes and buy CDs and things like that. But now people are like, hey, I can't live off this. I have a family to support. I have a apartment, $2,000 a month. I have a $500 a month car payment. I have $500 a month student loan debt to pay. I can't survive off this. So hence the whole $20 an hour thing in California. It's like, oh yeah, no, this is a career job. You're not supposed to stay there. But now you kind of screwed everyone else because not everyone's worth $20 an hour. So a lot of people just won't be hired at all. And that's why we're using AI and we're going to find robots to do a lot of things. The other day in Walmart, there's a whole sweeping robot. No one there, but it's one of those floor sweepers where usually someone's sitting in and they're sweeping all the floors in Walmart, polishing it. It was completely automated. It was like those little Roomba vacuum cleaners that go around your house. It was just like that, but it was a full-size machine doing all the work because that was probably not a $20 or $30 an hour job. And Walmart decided, we'll just buy machines to replace people. Same with self-checkout. We used to have humans doing all the checkouts, but it's not a job, whatever, $15, $18, $20 an hour job to ring people up. It just isn't. So if there was no minimum wage and you can say, okay, this is a $6 or $7 job, you can get a lot of people, just entry people to start there, and maybe they can work their way up. At least they'll have some form of income instead of being unemployed and collecting benefits. So anyway, there's a huge gap between what employees expect and what they think they're worth versus what a company needs done and what a worker actually gets done, the productivity out of that worker for the amount we're paying. And I'm telling you, speaking with other business owners, it's way off. We are not getting our money's worth as business owners, what we pay these people. It doesn't matter if we're paying them $20, $30, or $40 an hour. They want more. They think they're worth more. They're not willing to, put in the work or hustle. Sit down all day, stare at your phone. The minimum amount of work, they will do, and they'll demand the highest pay. So just a little rant today. If you are a business owner, let me know your experiences with hiring people. Are you getting lucky? Because it's the same complaint all across the board with everyone I know. And if you are an employee, do you feel like you're getting paid what you're worth? That's all I got for you today. Your friend, Angry Tim.